Good morning, everybody. My name is Andy Schwartz. I am the Virginia Values Veterans, or V3 Program Manager, and welcome to the Virginia Values Veterans Ambassador webinar. This is the first webinar we've had of this kind, and the level of participation of this on this webinar is very encouraging, and I hope more people will watch the recording as their time permits. What we're going to do today is go over a number of program updates and different aspects of the V3 program to help you as those interested in becoming V3 ambassadors, to help you talk about the V3 program. Again, the purpose of this webinar will be to educate you as the V3 ambassadors on different program updates that have happened throughout the past year or so. We will also be providing a template presentation for program overviews in different varying levels of detail. But the main thing here is that we want to teach you as ambassadors how to talk about V3. Simply put, understanding that there are many people that are advocates for this program, for which I am very grateful. I hope that this presentation will streamline the conversation to help you as the advocates for the program, as advocates for increased employment opportunities for veterans, give you a streamlined conversation as you're dealing with employers. All right, and the end state here for me is to create a network of V3 advocates who can leverage their employer networks with these objectives in mind: increasing awareness of Virginia's veteran hiring efforts overall, increase company commitments to hiring veterans, which is done through the V3 program, and finally, increasing the participation in implementing these nationally recognized best practices for recruiting, hiring, and retaining veterans. What this webinar does not do is provide a train-the-trainer curriculum. Many of you on this webinar may be familiar with the Virginia Values Veterans Program's train-the-trainer curriculum that we had beginning about 2 years ago. It was a pretty in-depth, intense training for what we call the train-the-trainers or trained trainers. And we set up these agents to go out and actually deliver the V3 core curriculum to employers within their network to get them V3 certified. Well, that was a pretty cumbersome process, both operationally and administratively. So this is not that program. This is going to be about a 30-minute webinar just to give you a brief overview of V3 and Virginia's veterans. It does not give comprehensive training material for employers. This is important to understand. I'm not expecting anyone on this call to be able to provide or deliver the V3 curriculum that we've established or any other curriculum that we've established. It does, however, provide sort of a teaser curriculum, sort of to demonstrate what our curriculum in the V3 program is, as well as give people an idea of what other supplemental training we have available through the V3 program. All right, it doesn't have a detailed step-by-step process plan for certification, but rather it gives a very concise V3 certification process, as well as resources where your audience may be able to go to find out more. This does not apply only to subject matter experts in the field of veteran recruiting, hiring, and retention. Rather, it applies to any person, any party interested in increasing employment opportunities for Virginia's veterans. Again, you don't have to be a subject matter expert to talk about V3, and hopefully at the end of this webinar, you'll feel more comfortable having a conversation with employers, and at the very least, directing them to the resources that we provide in the V3 program. The main points that we want to remember throughout, and these are sort of the main points we in the V3 staff keep in mind when we're talking about our program. Number one, this program is employer-focused. In other words, it is employer-focused. Finally, it is employer-focused. This is not per se a veteran-focused program. Again, we are dealing with employers. They are our customers. All right, the demand side of the labor equation is who we really want to focus on, not the supply side. There are plenty of great programs that are out there dealing with veterans, helping them with their resumes, helping them with their interview skills. We don't need to do that. The V3 program is a concentrated, focused, and comprehensive curriculum for the demand side of the equation, not the supply side. All right, another point to remember is that this is an economic development initiative rather than a job program. We're not here to solve an unemployment problem among veterans. What this is we are educating and training employers to capitalize on the best talent that's out there in the civilian workforce based on the knowledge, skills, and abilities that veteran military service members have received during their military service. The V3 program makes the case that hiring veterans is a good business decision. This, in turn, improves business performance, which in turn improves and increases a business's bottom line, which in turn increases the growth of the economy here in Virginia. And so we consider this an economic development initiative rather than a jobs program that just puts people to work. All right, something that's always on my mind as I am going through this program and making updates to it and trying to grow the program is to keep it efficient, to keep it streamlined, and at the end of the day, to keep it as unbureaucratic as possible. This is why many of our forms are done online. Most of our paperwork, most of our processes are internal to V3. Those that aren't internal to V3 are internal to DVS, the Department of Veterans Services. So we keep this program efficient and streamlined. And what that means for the employer is that they have a resource here in the Department of Veterans Services that responds quickly and efficiently to their needs. Again, this is a non-punitive and non-pejorative program, meaning that when companies engage in this program, they will not be, there's no negative repercussions for their lack of participation or their non-participation. We're here to make companies look good. That's what I always tell companies. We're not here to make them look bad based on their lack of participation or non-participation in the program. If they make a commitment to the Commonwealth, we're not going to make them look bad or hold them accountable for not hiring veterans. Again, the commitment that they make is totally non-pejorative and non-binding. It's just there as a goal for companies to think about hiring veterans at the forefront of their hiring philosophy. Finally, this is something I always forget to tell the employers that I'm talking to, is that it is free. The program is free for all employers participating. There's no cost for enrollment. There's no cost for the training received. There's no cost for certification or recertification. All of this is paid for out of general funds. And the way that we're able to do that is because, again, going back to the Economic Development Initiative, the Commonwealth of Virginia firmly believes that we will get a return on this investment by improving business performance through hiring of the great talent that's available to the veteran population. We're going to see an improved economy that will end up increasing the revenue of the Commonwealth of Virginia. In other words, the program pays for itself. So we're firmly confident that we'll see a return on investment through this program, and this is the reason we're able to provide all of the services we do at no cost to the employer. All right, we're going to go through 3 different conversations here that you might have with employers. The first one is going to be a 1-minute drill, and we'll go over varying levels of detail here. The 1-minute drill, I guess you could sort of call it like the elevator speech as well. And this is just if you happen to fit in a word edgewise about the V3 program, this is what we would like you to say. And I don't expect you to say it word for word, but just really to get the idea of what we're talking about here, broken down into about a 30-second soundbite. The Virginia Values Veterans, or V3 program, is a free training and certification program for employers to help them implement nationally recognized best practices in recruiting, hiring, and retaining highly skilled and dependable veterans. Hundreds of companies have made a public commitment to the Commonwealth of Virginia to hire thousands of veterans, and many have seen improved business performance and growth during their participation in the V3 program. To learn more about the V3 program, visit www.dvsv3.com. All right, this is very short and sweet, gets to the point, just enough to give them a basic idea of what the V3 program is. Notice what's in here. We don't even really talk about the official nature of the V3 program. They'll figure that out once they get to the website. We don't have a detailed process plan on how to join the V3 program. They'll get there when they get to the website. We don't have a detailed benefits slide on here that tells them all the benefits they would receive as a V3 certified company, or even what being a V3 certified company means. Again, we can get them to the website. That's the main thing we want to do if you've only got 30 seconds to a minute as you're talking about V3. And again, like I said, I don't expect anyone to memorize this. This is just sort of the main points we want to hit on while we're talking to companies. This is sort of my elevator speech that I give to companies as I'm dealing with them. And obviously you're free to modify it as you see fit, but this is sort of the gist of what we want to say. Moving on to a 5-minute drill. If you've got an opportunity to sit down with the company, if you're going about your daily course of duties in your employer network, and have an opportunity to talk more about the V3 program, or after you give the elevator speech, the employer you're talking to says, wow, that sounds pretty cool. Tell me more about the V3 program. What can you tell me? And I'm going to give you a couple slides here that'll help you out, beginning, first of all, with the elevator speech. Again, if the company wants to know more after this, you'll have a couple different things that you can tell them about the V3 program. First thing we want to let them know is about the employer benefit. And number one on there is this veteran employment grant eligibility for companies that have 300 or fewer employees. Through this grant program, and this is the key point that you would want to make, employers could receive as much as $10,000 in V3 grants per year for hiring veterans. All right, and they're probably going to want to know more about this, but again, if you've only got 5 minutes, just leave it at that and direct them to the website for more information. Another benefit that employers receive is access to V3 and VTAP recruiting days. Many of you on this call have been involved in those and have seen the success that we've had at these recruiting days. These events are free to V3 certified companies, which is a huge benefit, as many employers spend thousands of dollars going to job fairs where the return on investment, quite frankly, may not be worth the time and effort that they put into it. We also are working on having virtual employer panels, and we're working on expanding our network of military installations, not just to those that are here in Virginia, but through the V3's coordination with the Office of the Secretary of Defense. We're hoping to get these V3 certified companies in front of a worldwide audience of transitioning service members. So that would be a huge asset to V3 certified companies as well. Furthermore, like I said, we're here to make the companies look good. The V3 program is here to promote the veteran hiring efforts of our companies. We do not promote goods or services. However, I am always pleased and proud to promote the veteran hiring efforts of all of our V3 certified companies. We have done public service announcements through radio ads here in the Richmond market area, and we're exploring different market areas in Northern Virginia and Hampton Roads as well. We do quarterly governor's press releases highlighting the veteran hiring efforts of our companies, and we're working closely with the governor's office as well to begin featuring V3 certified companies on their website. A little bit more about the benefits listing on the V3 website with a link to their career website. This has been a huge boost for the company's passive recruiting efforts. I've heard many stories from V3 companies that have got really good candidates just because they were listed on the V3 website. We will be hiring soon a public relations manager here in the V3 program, so we will be able to do a lot more promoting the hiring efforts of companies, but also to promote various job openings that they might want us to get out as well. As always, we keep our companies abreast of the cutting-edge best practices in veteran recruiting, hiring, and retention. Our curriculum is updated constantly through our contractor and their ongoing research, and this curriculum is always available to our V3 certified companies. We do provide SHRM and HRCI continuing education credits. V3 is an approved and preferred training provider by both of these institutions. So HR professionals in the V3 community can attend our training sessions, again, free of charge for credit toward recertification. And finally, this will be something new that we institute at this year's annual summit. We will be doing an annual award ceremony recognizing the veteran hiring efforts of our employers and their engagement in the V3 program. So to conclude your brief presentation, again, this doesn't even give how to join the V3 program or what the certification process is. If you've got 5 minutes with them, really all you want to do is just tell them what's in it for them. And those couple of slides that I gave you right there should give you enough to at least get them interested enough to go to the website at www.dvsv3.com. And always, as always, you're free to give them my contact information, my Deputy Program Manager, Reagan Hertzler's contact information, as well as my training coordinator, Ross Koenig's contact information to learn more about the program. All right, and finally, there's one more level of detail, and I'm not going to go through the entire presentation here, but this is the 30-minute drill. If you ever have the opportunity and are willing to give a presentation to a larger audience in which you need to fill up 30 minutes, I know it can be quite daunting, and I'm not expecting anyone to, but this presentation here will at least give you enough knowledge and enough detail to be able to talk confidently about various aspects of the V3 program. All right, so I'm not going to give the entire 30-minute presentation here, I promise. I'm just going to go through how this presentation is set up so you can feel more confident about talking about various aspects of the slide. All right, and each slide that you're going to see here, I've provided notes to sort of guide you through the presentation. But if you, as you're looking at this presentation, if something about the you don't feel like you're confident in talking about a certain aspect of the presentation, you can always feel free to modify the slides and the presentation to fit your comfort level or the time constraints that you have. All right, so I'm going to escape out of the full screen presentation here just to show you on this this next page. Here's the title page of the 30-minute presentation. Again, input your name, your title, event name, and date here. And here's the notes section, as you can see down here. I will highlight it for you. There's the notes section of the slides in case you're unfamiliar with this, and you can print out these notes as well. All right, so if you go to the next slide, you'll be able to see I've written down quite detailed notes on, essentially this is what I say when I'm giving this presentation. You don't have to say it exactly like this, but at least gives you sort of an outline of sorts to help you navigate through this slide. In this slide, it's just the history of the V3 program, starting from when its inception in 2000, really what began in 2010, up to Governor McAuliffe's support of the program here to the present day. All right, then we go over the mission of the V3 program, with the keywords being educate, train, and connect. And this might be the most uncomfortable slide for many of you. Some are comfortable talking about numbers and statistics. Others are not. I'm not going to be offended if you don't talk about statistics, but this graphic over on the right side of the slide shows some various statistics regarding Virginia's veteran population. All of those statistics come from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs and the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And again, I've got notes here that sort of walk you through all of the statistics just to help you feel more comfortable with them. The conclusion of these statistics is this: that if you get anything across, this is what I'd like you to get across, is that Virginia's veteran population is young, it's active, it's eager to work, it's quickly growing, it is entrepreneurial in ambition, and it is a competitive pool. Those are really the main points that we infer from the statistics that I have provided. All right, and here's just a slide that shows the success of the V3 program and its growth trajectory since Governor McAuliffe has taken office. The most frequent question I get on this slide is that people notice that there's a gap between the number of jobs pledged and the number of hires reported. So the reason for that is because the number of hires reported is a lagging indicator. Companies pledge prospectively and report retroactively. All right, so they're always going to, there pretty much always will be a gap between the number of jobs pledged and the number of hires reported. But mostly, I would say about 75 to 80% of our companies actually hire more veterans than they pledged. All right, and this slide just gives the metrics over the first 3 years, starting in June 2012 all the way through July 2015. If you notice, I had a little typo there. This is our projection at this point. We're confident by July 1st, 2015, these numbers will be legitimized. So we'll have over 300 V3 companies who have pledged to hire over 12,000 jobs for veterans and have actually hired over 10,000 veterans. So this is the segue is that the success speaks for itself, and because of the success, this is what we want to get across here, because of the success of the V3 program has enjoyed widespread bipartisan support among Virginia's legislators. And here you can see sort of the history behind the V3 budget and its goals and what it plans to do later on. All right. The General Assembly is firmly behind this. We've got very good support not only in the legislators but also in the governor's office as well. And this segues into probably the most significant incentive that's available, especially for smaller businesses, which is the new V3 employment grant. All right, and this is just a very brief overview on what the grant provides. And you can read this; it speaks for itself. It's pretty simple, and gives, again, just sort of the structure and implementation, some of the thinking behind the grant. But you don't need to be subject matter experts on how the grant works. We have a website available that the companies can visit, which is at dbsv3.com/v3grant. All right. From here, it's almost a hard stop. But what we want to emphasize at this point is that the next thing up is the training curriculum. And this is a teaser curriculum. I'm not expecting anyone to be able to speak to the slides that are displayed. All we're saying is that we understand that the private sector receives training and education better from the private sector. So we have contracted out a private sector subject matter expert to develop and deliver the V3 training curriculum. All right, this is just to show you a sampling of what V3's private sector subject matter expert delivers on a regular basis to hundreds of companies throughout the Commonwealth. And you can just click right through these slides, leaving it up just for a second, just to show them that we do indeed have a curriculum, and that we're going to walk them through best practices in veteran recruiting, hiring, and retaining. And you can see all of these slides. Again, I am not a trainer. This is just to give a quick teaser of the curriculum. In order to become V3 certified, companies must complete this core curriculum along with the other training opportunities that we provide. All right, and then we're going to, the next thing we'll go through is the actual, a brief overview, again, of the V3 certification process. All right, and this involves the 3 steps: get enrolled, get trained, and get certified. And you will be able to find out more information by clicking on the link at www.dbsv3.com/join. And I don't need to go over the employer benefits again because we did that in the 5-minute drill. But again, I broke it down in the notes, sort of the different bullet points that you can bring up as you're talking about the benefits to the V3 program. And then we always let our employers know that their HR professionals can receive continuing education credits for HRCI and SHRM certifications. All right, and then finally we want to get in there the Patriot Pledge. Governor McAuliffe, through Executive Order number 23, has called on 10,000 businesses to make the Patriot Pledge. So if a company doesn't do anything, if the only thing they do out of your speaking to them is to do the Patriot Pledge, that's enough for us. We can stay in contact with them after that. Some companies are a little uncomfortable submitting a numeric pledge to the Commonwealth of Virginia as far as how many veterans they plan to hire due to varying corporate policies and things like that. The pledge is much simpler, does not require numeric or percentage pledge. There's no training that needs to be done in order to do it. It can be done in 30 seconds online. All they have to do is go to dbsv3.com/pledge. The only thing is that this does not equal V3 certification, nor does the company who makes the pledge receive certification benefits. All right, and if companies want to know where our events are being held, you can take them to this website at dbsv3.com/events. There we maintain our calendar of events where they can find the training is either online or in person. All of our training is offered in both formats, so they can take their choice on how to complete their training. And we show them a slide of our partners just to show them they can join this, join hundreds of companies in the Commonwealth of Virginia, all partnering together to improve business performance, increase employment opportunities for veterans, and invigorate the new Virginia economy. All right, and then of course our contact information would be on the final slide, and you are free to add your own contact information on there as well. This presentation is available online. If you go to dbsv3.com and you go to this Resources and Forms tab, if you click on that, you will enter a page that has a number of V3 documents and resources. You can use these as well. Again, here's the V3 Executive Summary, which is a PDF. It just gives a brief overview of the V3 program in a flyer format, a two-page document that can be printed front and back that has my contact information, that has Reagan's and Ross's contact information on it as well, and some various statistics and success of the V3 program. And we update this probably about quarterly, but it'll always be available on this website. The V3 certification process for a private sector employer, this is just sort of a flow chart showing companies how they can become certified in the V3 program. And if we have one for state agencies as well, because they fall under a little bit different regulations than V3 certified than the private sector does. So we have a separate flow chart for them as well. And you can see there's any number of documents. I don't need to go through them all. You're free to browse through them at your leisure. And then down here at the bottom, we have the V3 Ambassador Stock Presentation. This is a PowerPoint document that you are able to download. It's about 3.7 megabytes. And again, if you open it up, you're going to see the exact same slides that I just walked you through. So you're not going to see anything new, but I just want to show you that it does have the notes for you, and you are able to modify the slides as you see fit. So you can change the name there and save this on your computer for your own use. And again, here are all the notes pertaining to all the slides. I don't need to go through them anymore. Again, appreciate your time and attention today. And if you have any questions at a later time, feel free to reach out to me, Ross, or Reagan, and we'll be happy to give you an answer as best as we can. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day, and look forward to seeing great things from our V3 ambassadors.